All right, what's up, guys? True Combo here, and welcome to my official picks and bets for the UFC 325 main card. Now, these are just gonna be my official picks and decisions. Just for the main card, I'm not doing really any prelim fights. I did drop like a quick pick short, which included some of my choices for the prelims, but a lot of the prelims are, like I mentioned earlier, were road to UFC fodder. So sorry guys, I'm not gonna go over those picks. I'm just gonna really go over the main card, like I said. And yeah, I had a lot of time to think, and I watched some fights back, and I've made some decisions. So first fight we got Quinlan Salkeld versus Jamie Malarkey. This is the matchup that I've been saying. This is basically hydrogen bomb versus a coughing baby. And yeah, I'm gonna take Salkeld by KO. Yeah, man. Salkeld, man, I do have a bit of beef with this guy. This guy killed my parlay against Nasrat Haqparast, man. I thought Haqparast was a good underdog until he wasn't. I'd argue he was even winning a little bit until he wasn't. But it's okay. This is the sport of MMA. Stuff like that happens. So I do think Salkeld is very talented, though. I do think he's a great striker. I hate to say, man, but Jamie Malarkey, they just give, if you're a striker, they give you Jamie Malarkey for a highlight reel. And yeah, no, I think Salkeld is going to get the knockout. The potential betting picks that I have for this fight, I have Salkeld by KO. I found him at a -125. All my picks are on hardrockbet.com. Not sponsored, but sponsor me. So -125. Those aren't bad odds if you're confident that he's gonna get the knockout. But also, there's another prop bet where either fighter could get it, because I think this is gonna be kind of, I think it will be a little bit of a scrap until it isn't. Any fighter by KO, TKO, or DQ is -155, which is still not bad. So if you're scared if Salkeld's gonna be a little risky and maybe be, throw a lot more caution into the wind just so he can get another highlight finish like he did with Haqparast, he might open himself up, maybe get caught, and you're scared that he might do that, you can just bet on any fighter to get a knockout in TKO just to be safe. So you can go, let's go for that. All right, so next fight, Tai Tuivasa versus Talison Teixeira. Guys, Taco Bell. Is Tai Tuivasa gonna get his Taco Bell in the back? And if he does, he's gonna get that knockout. I don't care. I don't see I don't see Teixeira really getting a win. I don't know, man. Like, I saw that Derek Lewis fight. Look, you could say him getting knocked out by Derek Lewis is a bad look, but Derek Lewis was a bit dirty in that fight. I think he was faking getting an eye poke, and Talison was like a little hesitant to come in, and Lewis really rocked his head, man. I don't know. But still, man, I don't think Teixeira's experience, I don't think he's experienced enough in the UFC. I know Tuivasa, he's just been not in the best run lately, but he looks in better shape from the recent media photos I've been looking at. But I really see this fight being like Tai Tuivasa's Stefan Struve fight, like part 2 of that fight. Or I like to call this the Mark Hunt versus Stefan Struve that we get at home. Teixeira is a Stefan Struve reskin, man. I don't know. Tuivasa is a pretty good underdog. I think he's a plus 300 and something. It is a heavyweight fight, so look, I wouldn't parlay this in terms of picking Tuivasa. If you want to have him on the side, that's fine, especially by knockout. I think that's plus 400 something, so you can maybe parlay with that with a safer bet, make some money potentially, but I wouldn't put a lot of money on that. However, this fight, if you do kind of want to increase the odds on your parlay a bit while it's also being safe, I think the under 1.5 is a pretty good pick for this fight. I don't see this fight, I don't see it going the distance, but also I don't see it going a lot more than half the second round. So I think this is a pretty safe bet to pick. But I don't know, man. I feel like Tuivasa is gonna knock him out. I don't know. I feel like tall strikers are like Tuivasa's like that's his best style matchup. I don't know. Yeah, so I think Tuivasa is gonna knock out Tadas Teixeira. Mortal Kombat! We got Rafael Fiziev versus Mauricio Hoofy, man. Oh my god, I can't wait for this fight. This, like I just said, this is a straight out of Tekken, man. I got Hoofy by knockout. Listen, I'm not counting Fiziev out. I think Fiziev can get a knockout. He can definitely also squeeze this by decision. He's definitely, in my opinion, the more well-rounded fighter, and we've seen a lot more of him. But Hoofy, guys, I'm going based off aura. I feel like he can just come in, and on the feet, he's so slick, so unorthodox. I really feel like he can mix Fiziev up and just throw some wild stuff out there, and really, at least I think he could catch him. Maybe not put him completely out, but this is gonna be a dog fight. So there's some pretty good betting picks here. I'm not gonna go with any pick that directly picks Hoofy in terms of betting wise, because this fight is very hard to pick. But I think any fighter by KO, TKO, or DQs are pretty good odds. That's plus 165. Under 2.5 is plus 150. That's if, you know, it starts crazy. But this fight could also potentially, I think it would go a little above 2.5 rounds. But I don't know. I feel like if it's standing and there's no clinching and it's just pure standing, I think someone's gonna get knocked out for sure. Fight to not go the distance. I don't think this fight's really gonna go the distance. It's gonna be plus 125, you know, because I don't see it going the distance, man. Not at all. This is gonna be a war, guys. All right, so next fight. Oof, God, man. We got Dan Hooker versus BSD, boys. Dan Hooker's too tough for his own good, man. We love Dan Hooker. All right, I don't like. This is not gonna be me trashing Dan Hooker, but oof, this is not gonna be an easy matchup. At first, I kind of saw this as being like a Dustin Poirier versus BSD situation, but the more I think about it, I really do think BSD has learned his lesson, and he has been looking pretty good. I will say BSD does get caught and leave himself exposed when he's standing up. You know, this was a last minute replacement, but his fight against Kyle Propalek, he was getting, you know, I'm not gonna say pieced up, but he would get kind of caught in some exchanges where I think Dan, if he were to catch him in the same exchanges, same situations, he could hurt him, because I don't think Kyle Propalek was gonna hurt him at all. But I do see a world where Dan could catch BSD, because BSD has been tested before. I don't think BSD could knock out Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker is too tough. If that head kick he ate from Jalen Turner was, without a doubt, like anyone getting hit by that will get knocked out in this world, but Dan Hooker didn't. So we got some prop picks here. I'm gonna take BSD by sub. I don't think he knocks him out, but he's gonna sub him. So my prop picks are gonna be, I think this fight is gonna go over 1.5. In my opinion, I think it's gonna be right over 1.5, and then BSD is gonna get the finish. I think it's gonna be kind of a war, but BSD could take him down and get the sub. This is kind of a choose your own adventure. If you think the fight's gonna get it's gonna be a war and it's gonna end in the first 1.5, like it did where it wasn't a war, but with BSD versus Benny, you think it's just gonna end like that, you could go under. However, with Dan's toughness, going the over wouldn't hurt either. But for me, I think I might just go with BSD by finish. Those are pretty good odds. I think he will get a finish. If he doesn't get the knockout, which I'm confident that he's not, I'm pretty sure he will get the sub. So yeah, the safest bet here would be BSD by finish, but the over and under 1.5 is a pick'em. So that's more of a, like I said, choose your own adventure kind of deal. So all right, next fight. Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez. Oh my god, I am nervous as hell for this matchup, but I'm gonna stick to my gut. I still got Volk by decision. I rewatched the fight today, and Diego, look, if he comes out like he did in the first couple of rounds in the fight, he did catch Volk, but if he comes out like he did in the first fight in the first 2 rounds, Volk can probably finish him in the third. I think Volk, every time he has a rematch, minus maybe the Islam one, he comes in a better fighter. And if Diego proves to be that he's too tough for his own good and he can't be put out, I think Volk is gonna win this by decision. Yeah, so it's either for me Volk by decision or Volk by knockout. That's how I see this fight going. Diego, he could win this fight. I'm not saying he can't. This fight is still kind of a pick'em in the money line odds. So if Diego comes out, pushes forward, implements more leg kicks, he could have a better chance against Volkanovski. But if Volkanovski comes in like he did the first fight, a bit more aggressive, he could finish this fight in the third round. But other than that, I see this fight being a decision for Volkanovski. But we got some potential prop picks. We got Volkanovski moneyline minus 150. I'm pretty confident in this Volk decision. So I'm gonna take him by minus 150 odds. Those are pretty good odds, especially if you bet on him right now. Over 3.5. I definitely do see this fight going the distance, but if it does end, I feel like it's gonna end towards the end of the third round, going into the fourth. So minus 160 aren't, you know, those odds aren't too bad, especially considering that even if he goes to decision, you'll still win that fight to go to distance. It's plus 110. This is more of a risky bet because, like I did mention, I feel Volk could get, if Diego comes out the same, considering Volk's improvements that he always makes in his rematches, I could see Volk getting the finish. But otherwise, I think he's gonna go to decision. All right, so here's some this is a parlay that I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna take Sal killed by KO, or you could replace that with the any fighter by KO, TKO, or DQ parlay that I mentioned earlier. I'm gonna take Tai Tuivasa versus Taliesin Teixeira under 1.5 minus 240. Rufi versus Fiziev, I'm gonna take that fight to not go the distance at plus 125. Then we got BSD by finish at minus 145. Volkanovski moneyline minus 150. That brings your total to 1,516. You can put in 10, potentially win 160. So those are some bets to consider, guys, as well as my official picks. Thank you guys for watching, and good luck. Happy betting. Peace.